everybody. Gabrielle, my daughter, is with us today.
Hello.
And she's actually going to paint the mermaid because now she knows she wants a mermaid dresser. So we're going to start messing around with that. She's adding 3 different colors, so we'll go back to her in a few minutes so you can see what she's done and what her plans are. But what's cute about that particular mold is that so there's the different mermaids, but there's also little molds of like shells and smaller shells and cool swirls and stuff. And this is kind of a cool, elaborate kind of shell with designs all around it. So I think we're going to end up making a bunch of these and maybe another mermaid or 2 and get creative with Gabrielle's future dresser. So, and it's kind of fun because it was her dad's dresser growing up, which I painted and redid as a changing table like 10 years ago. So it's kind of fun that we're going to kind of give it another life and kind of update it, and then she can have it for her kids hopefully. So anyway, so today what I wanted to do was show you a technique called dry brushing. So we did the wet color wash the other day. This is dry brushing. Oh, and that's the dog. Did you let him out? Sorry, some people just rode by on bikes and that sets the dog off. But anywho, thanks, Gabrielle. So this is dry brushing, and really you have a coat of paint on your project pieces, and I've got a few of them going. And what you do is you use a chip brush, and these are dirt cheap at any hardware store, and they're great because all the uneven textures. So normally you'd think of it and say, oh my God, throw it out, it looks trashed. It's exactly what you want. So this first one I'm going to do on my little trim piece called Cheesecake. It's a nice, really warm white. And I'm going to use a color called Driftwood. It's a tan gray. Oh, geez, oh, Pete, who knew? Well, I'm going to use it right off the board now, or right off the tablecloth. So you dip that in, the paint, whether it's in the pot or on the table, and you take off literally most of it. You want it really kind of dried off. And what I do, I'll take the back of the piece and just see how much is on there. So I've got a lot of it off. There's not much there. And I put it on in long sweeping motions. Now, if you happen to, let's say, get a glob of it somewhere, don't keep working it because it's only going to spread it out and make it worse. Try to like do a little bit, but then let it go and move on. And maybe go a little heavier than maybe you intended around it, but don't try to keep working that because that's just gonna make it worse and become a whole big blob. It kind of grabs to the highest points, so that's kind of cool. And you can use any color combination. I feel like this bright light is a little too light, so I'm going to turn that down. Maybe is that good? Good. So you can see it just adds texture and a little bit of depth. And this is a great technique if you're making signs and you want it to look like beachy driftwood, kind of like faded out, chippy, that kind of thing. So it really gives a cute look. I don't feel like that lighting is all that better either. Hang on. We'll figure it out. There. So that's driftwood. So that's a dark paint on light. So that looks good. Looks interesting. I'm going to set that down. I'm going to take that off. Now I'm going to do this. This is one of my all-time favorite colors. It's Bliss by Country Chic Paint. And I'm going to put a light color on top of that one. So I'm actually going to use Cheesecake. going to do the same thing. I'm going to see just how much paint just by testing the back. It's hard to see because it's light on light. This is a different kind of trim because it's a little more detailed. So I start by going super, super light because you know you can always add more, but you can't go back. Well, you can't always go back. You can always just paint it all over again, but who wants to do that? So this is the cheesecake on top of Bliss. And the beauty of these things is that it brings out the details. If you've got a cool desk with a couple of details that are really nice, or you add molds to it to kind of bring it to life, this really is a beautiful, subtle way to do that. So you can kind of see that. And my brush is really pretty much dry. There's still a little bit coming off of it though. And again, you can go as heavy and as light with dry brushing. What I do love about it is that it's so versatile. Like I said, you can make something look like beachy driftwood, something sun bleached like that, or I've done it on antique furniture. And I did it really subtly. The two colors were fairly similar, so it didn't really stand out, but it was very subtle. And then with the dark wax over it, it was just stunning. Just really, really beautiful. So there's an example of light on a darker one. And then here's a really fun one, and probably my favorite. Country Chic Paint makes a product called Metallic Accent Cream. And this is called Pocket Wash. Well, there's no use in shaking it because there's no shaking it. It is so thick. It's thicker than like Greek yogurt or anything like that. That's thick. Is that wild? So I just want to get, I only have one chip brush with me, so I don't want to get it all wet and that sort of thing. But so exact same technique, only with this cool stuff. And you can see it's so thick, it's like thick and gummy. Yeah, there's no stirring this, so don't even bother. You go to stir it and it's all this cream ends up on the stir, so don't bother. There's no need for it. I did the exact same thing. I took off some excess. I'm going on the back just to take off excess, kind of see how much product is left on there. And now I'm going to go lightly. You can always add more. Going to take a little more of that. Go up here more. So I do have to say that this technique, this dry brushing and that color wash, are two of my favorites. And that's a beautiful metallic gold. Again, I don't know if my lighting is quite right, but there that is. A cool thing about the metallic is that you can put it on heavier. So I'll put it on a little heavier here. I'll make it like it's a border. Again, you can go as heavy or as light as you want, doesn't matter. This, you don't have to top coat over it. There's enough poly in there, so you don't have to do anything on top of it. Since I did it up there, I'm going to go ahead and do it at the bottom too, just to give it balance. And it won't fade. It's, I love it. It comes in a few different colors. I've got with me today, I've got this gold and a silver. There's a metallic bronze, like a metallic-y brown. It's stunning, stunning. And there's a couple of other colors too, but those are my three favorites. There's, I think, gunmetal, which is a dark gray silver, which is really pretty too. There we go. Okay, there we go. So there you have dry brushing, and this one is dry brushing with that metallic cream. So there's that. I'm gonna put this back on. Gabrielle may be adding that to her mermaid. She may not be. Let me put this away. Close this up. And you remember the mold I did yesterday? I think it was yesterday. It was that really cute. Boy, this lighting just isn't.
I think you have to darken the light.
Yeah, I think you're right. There we go.
That might make it more
Yeah,
suitable.
it might be a little dark, but at least you can see this. So I glued it to the back. I put glue on the back foot. I just put it on a pasta jar. And so I put the glue on there. I put a piece of paper over it and a couple of rubber bands just to hold it there till it dried. I put the piece of paper on top just so I wouldn't have rubber band marks on it. And now I think I'm just going to paint it. I think I'm going to borrow one of Gabrielle's paints here. Another favorite of mine is, oh, thanks. I'm going to go with the bigger one because I'm going to cover that whole thing up. I'm going to use Happy Hour, which is a beautiful blue. Maybe a little bit of green in there too, actually.
I think it kind of looks a lot like Bliss, but it's kind of, I think, lighter.
Yeah, I think you're right. It is a lot like Bliss, my other favorite. Chalk paints and clay-based paints adhere to glass very, very easily. Now, you always have to give things a cure time, but it does well. I actually know someone that bakes after it's all dry, puts it in the oven and really bakes it on, and then she said nothing's taking that paint off. So I think I'm going to bake this on. I'll let you know tomorrow how long I baked it and at what temperature. I don't think it's all that long, and I don't think it's all that high. But, I mean, I've been painting glass with chalk paint for ages, doing wine bottles and putting molds on them and all that jazz. I've never had an issue. But when she said there's no way to get the paint off afterwards, I thought, that's a good idea. So I'm going to give that a try. This is just a cute jar because it's got, you know, writing on it. And so that'll be cute to distress later too and make things more interesting instead of just kind of flat and one-dimensional. So we'll see what we end up doing with this. So if you've got any chalk paint or clay-based paint at home, and you know what? Start saving your bottles. Whatever, pasta bottles, baby jars. You know, those little baby jars, you could paint those and make those super cute and put them in your bathroom for Q-tips and all that kind of stuff. It's so easy to just honestly use what you have or at home. And if you're bored with anything and you're just like thinking, I think I'm going to pitch it, you know what? Paint it. You'd be surprised, and all of a sudden it's your favorite thing again. There we go. All right. I think I'm in pretty good shape. This is definitely going to take a couple coats just because I didn't really put it on all that heavy. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the label. I might do a dry brush with maybe a layer of gray and a layer of cream just to help the details come out, and then do a dark wax around it so it looks kind of crudted up and old. But we'll see. And yeah, we'll see how it kind of transpires. And Gabrielle, you want to give us an update on your mermaid? You want to hold her up for the...
It's almost unfinished, but I decided I'm gonna add some gold, like to like the tail, and I decided I'm gonna paint her hair gold. And could I have like maybe a light pink, just to, like make her lips?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Colored.
We've got, you know what? Country Chic Paint has like 3 or 4 different shades of like really pretty like pinks and reds and like blossom colors. So let's see what I brought home with me.
Okay.
You know, I actually have a color, not that you have to use it, called Mermaid Tail. Do I have it with me? It's a really, really pale purple. And unfortunately, I don't have it with me. But you know what? We'll be going to the store, so I'll pick it up.
Back
at yours.
The gold, or could I use it?
Yep, go ahead and use it. But that's all we have for today. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. If you would like any of the products that I've got here, I sell them at your space and I can mail them to you. You know, I'm happy to put together a little package of paints and a great brush and that sort of thing and send it your way. And you just start saving those pasta jars and whatever else you have, and you can just start messing around with this kind of stuff. And like with kids and that jazz, it's clay based. You know what? It all washes out. It's fine, and it's pretty stuff. I love that gold. I love that gold. I love metallic anyway. So next week I was thinking of doing a project piece, start to finish. Let me know if that'd be interesting to you, because I'd be happy to do it. But if, you know, well, I only want to do it if it's interesting to you. So let me know if you have any questions. I hope you have a great afternoon, and we'll show you Gabrielle's mermaid when she's all done. Thanks. Bye.